March favorites, roundup, lifestyle, beauty. We have a few things to cover, and I actually contemplated filming an entirely separate video showcasing lifestyle favorites, but I decided to just not talk as much and also for me to not edit as much. But let me just start off with not only favorite of the month, but favorite of the year. And we're not even halfway through it yet. These are new to me, but not new to the internet. I encountered super cubes. I think it was a Mike G video who I watch. I watch a lot of home cook videos on YouTube. And when I saw these super cubes, I didn't get it at first. And I'm also not on TikTok. I know they flooded TikTok. I would say maybe a year ago or maybe more. You could let me know down below. And I didn't grasp the concept at the time because not that freezing is new. Freezing has been around for centuries in order to preserve food in different ways. And I already recognize preserving or rather freezing aromatics. Like I like to freeze my garlic and my shallots in the mini ice cubes, but I had never seen ones this large. They're expensive. It's high-grade silicone. Silicone comes with major trade-offs, meaning they smell like whatever you put in here. And able to combat that, you will have to bake the tray and that will, cook the smell out. But besides that, I cooked and then I put the food directly in the silicone cubey things. It was the chicken. Chicken is hard to meal prep because I don't like how it tastes the next day. Even when I reheat it on stovetop, it tastes rubbery. It just tastes not great. But when you freeze chicken, the chemistry or whatever happens to the surface area of the food when it's frozen right away versus just refrigerated makes a difference. And that's when I was completely sold because of how great the chicken tastes. My gosh, it was as if I just cooked it that day. So whatever you make, you put it directly in the silicone molds. This is the half cup. Is it the half cup? Yes. They also have the measurements here in the actual mold. I purchased the entire set. I can link it down below, which has the 2 cup, the half cup, the 2 cup, the 1 cup, the half cup, and the 2 tablespoon tray. And it's so great to drop the food in here when you make it fresh and just freeze it right away because it gives you peace of mind, especially if you do meal prep, because there's always that concern where you want to make enough for like 3 to 4 days, but then if you make too much, you got to eat it and you don't want to waste it. And what happens if you travel and you left the food in the fridge and it spoils? You just freeze it. You freeze it and you forget it. And depending on what food it is, how you prepared it, could have like anywhere from a 3 to 6 month suggested freezer life, right? So just make sure you label not only what you put in here, because once the food is frozen, you could push it out and then put it in whatever container, and then you could label that container, right? Stuff like rice, like pasta, any of your veggie size, any of your main course protein size, you just freeze it and you have food. You have your own frozen TV dinner. This really just changed the game for me because it gave me peace of mind to know that whatever I cooked, I could just freeze it and reheat it easily. I don't have to worry about making too much. I can make as much as I want, freeze it, and then have it a week out or even a month out. And knowing that you have food prepared is essential when trying to adjust your nutrition. I know people don't like to cook and people rather just get it catered or buy whatever. This is a hot take. You have to learn some sort of cooking. You do need to take control of the kitchen for your own benefit in order to make these changes happen. I'm not saying you have to become a 5-star Michelin chef. I'm not even saying you have to become a professional home cook. To just know the basics, because there is great freedom in going into the supermarket, getting whatever, or just opening your fridge, looking at what's left over, and just whip something up quickly to not waste any food that you purchase, right? Just use whatever you have, and the meal is there. And if you don't eat it right away, you could freeze it and have it later. Sometimes also when I visit my mom and dad, I try to cook for them and freeze stuff so they have it in the freezer whenever they want to take something out, right? So they're not eating out all the time. And again, they are expensive, but 100% worth the investment. Because again, to have that peace of mind and freedom to enable you to freeze food that, again, doesn't have to be these super cubes, but it does help in terms of the portioning, because you can't freeze food in whatever container that's freeze safe, right? Freezer safe. But it does help with the different sized molds to portion everything out, to just have those servings ready at your disposal. Label them, put them in, you know, whether it's a Ziploc or a glass Pyrex, however you operate. I love these and would love to know your tips down below. I've made a bolognese sauce. I've made like a creamy Tuscan chicken. I've made ground beef, ground chicken stir fries. Every time I cook rice, I just freeze it. I don't even bother putting it in the fridge anymore. I just freeze it right away because it just takes 2 minutes in the microwave. And it's like you just made it. And for reheating protein, I mainly reheat it on the stovetop because I'm ultra picky, but you can also reheat it in the microwave. It's just about convenience, right? And what's available. If you're at work, the canteen's probably not going to have a stove, right? It's going to have either a toaster oven or a microwave. The microwave is just fine. But again, what a great tool to have in your arsenal to ensure that when learning how to meal prep, getting more into that, learning how to cook more, just enough for you to get by so that when you return home from a trip or maybe you had a long day, that we don't automatically resort to ordering out, because I know how mentally it can be taxing when you're exhausted, and to think about cooking something right then and there, it's just not in the cards. You're like, screw it. But to have something in advance so that you commit time on a day that you weren't as busy to make something that maybe you're not having right then and there, but knowing that those crazy days are coming, you got food in the freezer. You got it in the freezer because of the super cubes. But again, not that you need these specifically, but I do love the different size molds because of the portioning. And it does help when storing because they are in these like blocks. They're called like, I think it's called like the Lego lunch on the internet, hashtag Lego lunch. They're easier to store and you can maximize your freezer space for sure. So I had to kick off the March favorites for that because that still is a huge game changer. In addition, these Muji nylon pouches, so unassuming when you see them in store. And Muji is dangerous. $290, $590, although a lot of their appliances and furniture pieces are quite expensive, but the smaller pieces, the plastic travel size skincare bottles, these nylon pouches, I actually use the makeup nylon pouch for my cords. Now, you can see it's a little chaotic in here, but it works for me because I like how it zips all the way down and the main compartment opens quite a bit. And you have these side pockets where I can place whether it be the cube or other wires. And again, I know there are electronic organizers that have the different loops and whatever. I chose to sacrifice organization for more compactness, right? So I don't mind kind of sifting through what I need because in the end, I could just zipper it up and it packs quite small and it doesn't take up a lot of space in my backpack. I also love this front pocket because it makes for easy access for my headphone cord, my Sony W, or such a long name, my XM6s. So I could easily get this, especially when on the plane. I know exactly where it is and I don't have to go digging into the main compartment. I could probably also put in the iPhone cube and cord in that front pocket as well. This is the small pouch, and you can see it's not, of course, it's obviously a smaller size, but I like to have what I call the command center pouch, where it holds a lot of items that are high use for every day. For instance, as you just saw, my nail oil pen, my glasses, cloth, Vaseline, 100%. I have my foot cream. I got my pit spray. I have a pair of contacts in here. I got a little What is this? Oh yes, I remember. A little bit of face cream for makeup prep, right, if I need it. I also have sample sizes. This is the Prada cleanser, you know, emergencies if I need to wash my face at the airport or wherever I find myself and I forgot my face cleanser. I have that. I have my bobby pins. I also have my house clip, my hair clip in here, and it closes pretty easily. So it appears as if, can you really get that zippered up? So I just kind of squeeze it together and then it zippers up just fine, right? And again, it's compact, it's small, it fits well in my backpack without taking up a lot of space. But the main element I love about this is how it opens wide and it stands up on the counter. It doesn't topple over. So it kind of changes into like a mini caddy, if you will. And when I need it to go or when I have to go, I could just zip it right up. So that definitely had to be included. But I almost didn't want to show this because this mini pouch for Muji unfortunately is discontinued. And you're like, how did you manage to get one? Well, actually, I have 3. This one in particular, I found at a Muji store randomly. So I think there might be leftovers, if you will, at some Muji locations. And the reason why I love this is because it opens like an accordion. This is where I hold my external hard drives, and I like it. The inside is nylon, so the Velcro won't catch on the material or just kind of slide against it. You also have this mini compartment in the center. I have one for my fanny pack where I have like panty liners, contacts, like a little aquaphor, like mini kind of emergency items that are at hand when I need them. And I also like this little loop so you can hang it somewhere if you like. I have another one in the charcoal, but these I just think, again, they're unassuming, modest, minimalist, but that's what I like about a lot of Muji stuff is that I don't need the bells and whistles. I just need the functionality. And that's what they're able to provide, especially because I don't know if you notice, I'm a bag and a bag and a bag and a bagged type of a person. And I like to have everything in their separate compartments and everything so that for me, when packing, when I see this or when I see this, they serve as cues to help me remind me what I need to pack and not forget, right? Once I see this, I know I got to make sure I got all my cores. Once I see this, I have to make sure I got all my command center goods at hand. When I see this, make sure my external hard drives are in the backpack. So these have been fantastic. I love, again, the nylon material. It's lightweight. It's easy to handle. It doesn't weigh more, right? Well, obviously it weighs more when you pack it, but a lot of these bags sometimes are heavy, empty, right? So when you actually put stuff in it, it's like, my gosh. I haven't purchased any additional nylon pouches from Muji, but I do love the different sizes. So definitely check it out. Again, you just have to kind of be open-minded about how you organize and how you operate your packing. And for now, these have served me quite well. And I wanted to include these pouches in the March favorites because in case if you are also a bag and a bag and a bag and a bag type of person like myself, I think you will like these. Shout out to a few brands on the ShopMy platform who extended an invitation to try some of their products. And one of the brands, Remedy, their Rich Cream to Foam Cleanser with Ceramides for face and body. So when it comes to cleansing, I try to keep it ultra simple, little fragrance, although there is a brand that did set me in the shower. Let's see here. I think it's called Wherever. Oh, excuse me, Whereafter. The Sensorial Body Cleanser, 3 nights in Madrid. So that was intriguing to me because the base, I believe, is aloe vera juice. And I like that because that means it's ultra moisturizing or an indication that the body wash is ultra hydrating, especially because my skin is eczema prone, but it is scented. Bergamot, black tea, and cedarwood. I do like the scent, however. I think it's quite lovely. It has a a woodsy element to it that's quite appealing to me, not overly flowery, not a lot of flower in there whatsoever in my opinion, but it is pleasant. And I do like how a little bit of the scent lingers, but it's not overwhelming and it doesn't dry out my skin. So my apologies for not having it at hand like I do this one. I have this one on camera because I intentionally brought this over from Bay's apartment because this is the one I keep at Bay's and it's fragrance free, so this might be more appropriate for eczema prone skin or skin that cannot take any type of fragrance. But when it comes to my armpits, I like to use a cleanser that is developed for removing makeup, which this one is, because the sweat that excretes from our armpit glands does have oil in the water or the whatever comes out, because there is oil in the sweat as opposed to other sweat glands found on the rest of our body. That's water and salt. Here it could get a little that's why with smells and everything. So I thought it would make sense to use a cleanser that's formulated to break down makeup, that it would in a way break down the oil buildup in my armpits, and it's been working well. I love how my skin feels soft. It doesn't feel stripped. It's quite lovely to use. It does foam, but it doesn't, again, feel overly soapy. And like I had said, it's fragrance free, it's fantastic on the skin, and it's for face and body, which I love because in terms of economizing how many products that I use, I do apply, or rather use my ordinary squalene cleanser to remove makeup. But I wouldn't mind using this for both face and body if that's all I had available. So thank you to Remedy, thank you to Wear After for the gift. And I also received a gift from Soft Serve. This is their Theraplush Overnight Retinol Hand Treatment, and it's refillable. Quite cool. It's a magnetic jar lid, and you can just buy the refill here. So this part comes out, and then you screw it on, press down, and you have your hand cream. Now, this does have retinol, so why it is an overnight treatment and would be recommended that you apply sunscreen on your hands if out and about next day under direct sunlight. It does have a little bit of a product smell to it, which I'm not crazy about, but it is unscented. This one specifically, they do have scented options. I just wanted the unscented version, but you know, maybe if I look over the other options, perhaps there'll be one that I can tolerate. But I do like this a lot for the sake of it being refillable and the actual jar being quite lovely. Again, you could put stuff on here. Again, it's magnetic. I did also request like a body spray that has antimicrobial ingredients or what have you, because I know approaching the spring, well, specifically the summer season. The spring's still trying to find its way to the Northeast. It's been unfortunately delayed by a few chilly days that we've had, but I'm sure it'll arrive soon and I'll be happy to accept it, although I do love my wintertime. In the summertime, when sweating and all that, I might not have an opportunity to shower right away. So to have the spray, that body spray, just for a little bit of refreshing before I could get to the shower, and also to help combat any chest acne that sometimes does occur, not only on my chest, but on my upper back. So we'll be using that more often as we approach the season, and of course we'll report back about the product because of course I'll be using it more since we'll have those warmer and more humid conditions. So that is it for the lifestyle. I hope, my gosh, I probably forgot stuff but that's just me and always forgetting to write this stuff down when it comes to the monthly favorites. Friends, this portion of the video is brought to you by Rephr. If it's your first time hearing about Rephr, it is a brush brand that I have been working with for the last 8 years, ever since they released their core brush set that was mainly created by customer feedback. Brush customers around the globe submitted their detailed critique on maybe a brush length should be this, their density should be that, and ever since then, Rephr has expanded to a full-fledged brush company that now offers a plethora of different sizes and styles of brushes. Most recently, their YSL collection, which you know I absolutely love. They even put my name on one. But guess what's happening to Rephr? They are coming to Sephora in Hong Kong. I know it's not here in the States yet, but if you live in Hong Kong, that's when you'll see Rephr in store, so you could actually experience the brushes in person if you're only able to see them online. And the Rephr team asked me which display would be better, and here is design A and B, and you actually can vote, family, in which display you like the most to be featured in Sephora Hong Kong. And every time you vote, you receive a new product, specifically their new trio sponge set. You have 3 different sizes, so all you need to do is vote on display A or B, and you get your sponges. Because Sephora has limited real estate, they're not going to have the entire collection, but will definitely have customer favorites such as the Shoto line, their core set in both face and eyes. So a huge thank you again to Rephr for sponsoring this portion of the video to share the exciting news that they will in fact be in Sephora Hong Kong. I would love to know down below if you're able to see it in person, what it looks like, how it is, and you also can be a part of it by voting which display design they choose to be in store. Now we gotta kick off March beauty favorites with the Diorshow quints that I think actually released and I purchased late February. I didn't include it in the February favorites because I just got them. But yes, as you see, I have all 4. This is brown brocart as an example, and I was just completely and utterly wowed by this formula. Despite how shiny these are, I mean, quite shiny for Dior, right? And they're creamy, they're smooth, they're absolutely lovely. Still, in my opinion, Dior's best formula is this one. This is Jungle, but just as an example, I think this has to be just one of their best eyeshadow formulas they've ever had. However, the recent Diorshow 5 Couleurs quint formula is quite good. I think because of the higher shine factor, and even though it's higher shine, it still appears sophisticated and just enough. A beautiful serving of not only sparkle, but accessible sparkle. I think that softer effect just is more enhancing on lid texture, more forgiving on lid texture, where you can have that reflectivity without the tight kind of like what you can find in a lot of metallics sometimes, and a lot of metallic eyeshadows, that they're so thick and they're so intense in texture that despite how reflective they appear on a swatch, it doesn't work the same when actually on the eyes in practice. The one I initially thought I would love the most, Lilac Tulle, was tricky to work with because you can see the colors individually are like pow wow. And I remember a comment where, in response to a critique I had for Lilac Tulle, in saying that it didn't possess the same amount of metallics like brown brocart, rose merway, and also the blue. What is the blue one called? Midnight Lame. But they made a good point where the softer, almost demi-matte finishes for Lilac Tulle reflected the tulle. I'm sorry about these lip stain swatches. They don't want to leave my arm. They reflect the tulle material. So this is more of like a softer serving, and again, it's almost like you are applying tulle on your eyes, and probably why Peter omitted the more high shine sparkly formulas from Lilac Tulle and concentrated on the more demi-matte finishes here for the quint. The center shade still has nice sparkle. So you could apply this on any of the colors here. And I have a YouTube short demonstrating how I applied Lilac Tulle, where I applied the maroon on my lower lash line, which is a high risk, step to take because you could look disease eyes real quickly, but I love how the look turned out. So I'll make sure to include that on the March favorites playlist. But the Diorshow quins I actually like. I actually like a lot. And I love the compact, the canage design here from the canage stitching on their purses, now in compact eyeshadow form. We love to see it. As well as the mascara. I have 3 mascaras actually, over brown, over plum, and over blue. And I compared over brown to Pradascope's Mahogany. I like Mahogany better because it's more of like a plum brown, is lovely. But over plum, in my opinion, because I don't have all the color mascaras, but I think Dior released maybe around 5. This is a lovely shade because it's not so light where it looks off when paired with eyeshadow, but it has the right amount of depth to provide more haziness, a little more of like, almost as if it enhances the look, but provides enough depth for your lashes so they don't disappear. It's an incredible shade. I'm not crazy about the Diorshow formula. I'm picky with mascara, although I have a better handle on how to apply this mascara because you saw the spoolie is a big hour-shaped glass spoolie with the spikies, and I much prefer the Pradascope spoolie, which is a half brush, which some could argue harder to manage because this releases quite a bit of mascara on the first swipe. But once you get the hang of it, I think like that thick, lush look you get from the Pradascope is unmatched. Then this is by far has been one of my most favorite mascara formulas, but I do love the Dior packaging. It's brilliant. With the canage again, it's just iconic. This is so intense. Look at this freaking package. And I already spoke about the Prada briefly, but Pradascope Mahogany has to be one of the most beautiful mascaras I've ever tried. You know what? I forgot to buy one when I placed my Sephora sale order. I'm buying another one for sure. I'm using this for the remainder of the spring summer season because to apply a mascara that just has a softer look in terms of the color, it allows you to apply mascara while having blush on it, because this is what happens to me sometimes. When I apply blush in that just blown out monochromatic fashion, on the cheeks, a little bit on the eyes, maybe around the eyes for that blush draping effect. When I apply black mascara, sometimes it's a little too high contrast and it just takes away from that ethereal look I want to achieve with the blush. But I want my lashes to stand up against the blush. I don't want them to just kind of sit there, because if I don't curl them, they do sit quite low, but I want them to be seen. That I want them to have that fluttery look. And Mahogany allows that to happen. It allows my lashes to have definition, to present a little bit of contrast, but not too much. It just kind of works with the entire look. And that's what Mahogany does, in my opinion. And what brown mascara in general does, but because of this unique tone, I said plum brown, but it's actually more brown plum. It has more of a brown plum element to it and is beyond flattering. I love this mascara, and man, again, gotta buy backup. And also I mentioned this technique in my YSL Nude Hours video that was given to me by Jay Brandon, one of the YSL national makeup artists, where you apply a little bit of a brown mascara on the inner parts of the lashes and the black on the outer. The mascara gradient is S tier. It just, again, adds more dimension to your eye look without it just appearing flat. Do it and get back to me. I know you're gonna love it. Staying with Prada, they released their glossy bombs. Where's my glossy bomb to show? The Glossy Liquid Balm. So this is like a treatment and glossy lip product in one. This is Chocobot, and I quite like it. I do. I have my critique about it where it does have fragrance, so it's not going to be everyone's favorite. It does have a creamier, almost tighter feel on the lip. It's not sticky. I don't feel it sticky, but I realize how some could interpret it as sticky. If you compare it with the Hung Bango Lip Hue, I have shorts demonstrating both products. The Hung Bango Lip Hue has a lot more fluidity to it, and it doesn't feel as tight on the lip, and it also is fragrance free. But the advantage Prada has is definitely the applicator, because this applicator can become quite messy, right? Where you just have a cleaner application with the Prada wand. Also, someone made a comment that they prefer the Prada colors over the Hung Bango one. So it really all depends on what you choose to tolerate. If you were to buy one Prada gloss, I would go with Chocobot. Chocobot is virtually my lip color, but rosier and shinier. And it is a pleasure to apply, especially on super dry lips. I call it like a lip treatment on a stick. It provides instantaneous cushion lip feel, has great slip, but again, it is on the slightly heavier side because it is a glossy lip balm treatment. It's a little bit of both, a little bit of everything in there. I have 4 shades. I actually filmed the video. I haven't edited it yet because I didn't know if it would do well at this point since it's released like beginning of the month of March, but I probably still want to upload it because I do show each color individually with this camera. The only video I have out now was filmed on my iPhone with all the colors, but you know, let me know. It's on the external hard drive. I just gotta edit it. And why don't we talk about Yves Saint Laurent? I couldn't decide if I wanted to apply Nude Hours or what I decided to apply in the end, Givenchy's 912. I applied Givenchy's 912 because I love both eyeshadow palettes and I have a video comparing both, but Nude Hours easily became an instant favorite just because of these tones. They're easy to throw on, and shadows that I would wear over the summertime easily, because this shade especially, I could just throw on lid and crease, and to have that hazy effect, again, paired with Pradascope's Mahogany, because I want to keep that soft rosy brown feel to the eyes and don't want to take it away with black mascara, right? So to have the brown mascara there is just phenomenal. Even with the overlay shades, if prepped well, meaning going in perhaps with an Armani eye tint or even like a tackier primer, whatever the case might be, this is a fantastic palette. I don't even know if it's going to come back in stock. I mean, this was in and out of stock how many times I cannot recall, but it is a fantastic palette, and ooh, who knows what YSL will release next in the 9-pan format. And I also showed new bronze. Now, if you're wondering what I have on the lips, I had meant to film a short with these new Chanel lipsticks. It's a limited release. Some are limited shades, some are not. I think the ones I purchased are limited shades, and the lipstick case design is based off jewelry or some sort of jewelry pieces from Chanel. It was about this. Whatever's happening here, the cross, the hot cross buns symbol on the case, and you have, you know what this reminds me of? This was kindly gifted to me by a lovely subscriber years ago. The limited edition Midnight Sun Selfridges collab. Okay, do you see the... I think this is why I had to have this lipstick case, because it matches the freaking Mothership palette case. Stop. It's untouched. I can't use this. This is too valuable of a gift, right? Because of the gold trim on the palette. What a beautiful piece. I know the makeup inside is perishable, but in the meantime, as long as it doesn't turn, I'm keeping this forever. And if the shadows do go, I'll figure out how to depot the shadows, but I'm just gonna keep the case. But now, that we have the Chanel case. I mean, what a pair. Which shades did you buy, Alicia? Well, 479 Crush, which I had to buy this beautiful mauve rose. Just flattering. If you're wondering how that compares to Isabel Rosewood from Gucci, Isabel Rosewood is a satin from Gucci as opposed to Chanel's Rouge Allure, which is a luminous matte. So it's a little lighter, a little thinner. So definitely Isabel Rosewood, interesting, almost appears to have a little more berry in the undertone. And 479, I think I read. Oh my gosh, if it's, of course, it's gonna be a French name of Chanel, stupid. Crush, I could say Crush, yay. Crush is gonna have more of like a lighter rose pink feel about it. It's a lovely color. Do you wanna see it on? I meant to film a well, hold on. Let me actually grab some footage with this shade on, number 489, Toi Et Moi. Is almost like a wine, a muted wine with a little more red in there. Is so pretty. The moment I tried it at Nordstrom, I was like, sign me up. Isn't Crush so pretty? I'll leave this off for the rest of the video. These are the only two I purchased because they called to me immediately. And Chanel's Rouge Allure formula is one of my most favorite matte, luminous matte formulas in the luxury beauty space because of how lightweight and thin it is, but how beautiful the color delivery also is at the same time. And the spring case mechanism, I just think so clever. Just so Chanel, again, the hot cross bun bottoms and the gold trim lipstick case. Tom Ford, what I have on the cheeks, I have Chanel on the cheekbones, but working on that video, you'll know when I upload it. Tom Ford had their brand revamp in March where they released new quad compacts. Some were new color stories, some were returning, and you also have the new blushes, the Architecture Soft Blush. I have on Tawny Veil, which just immediately proved to be one of my most favorite peaches of all time because it's almost like a muted peach, like a burnt muted peach, which is just incredibly flattering. And I made sure to apply it higher for this look because of the smokier eyes. Oh, and the texture is phenomenal. It's soft, it's silky, easy to move on the skin. It just has a lovely texture to it. But this color right here, as well as Golden Peach, which is my sun-kissed color, and Brushed Plum. I totally could have gotten away with Brushed Plum, but I decided with Tawny Veil because this is my favorite out of the three. Brushed Plum, of course, just based off the name, is going to provide that beautiful sculpted look with the berry shade here higher on the cheekbones. But I had to throw on Tawny Veil because Tawny Veil, like, I have a smoky eye look going on for the video, but this shade I could throw on anytime, anywhere, just solo, not even with mascara or brows, maybe a lip gloss of some sort. But Tawny Veil just has that ability to pull your complexion together in seconds and provide that liveliness, that kind of like flush look to the face that is unmatched. I mean, look. I love this blush. And I love the compact too, because before we just had the mahogany packaging flat, but now we have the T mold here on the front, as well as what we see. I don't even have it with me, shame on me. We have the powder eyeshadows and the cream to powder eyeshadows. This is evening attire, one of the new compact offerings from the line. And you can't go wrong with evening attire. Again, I have a short showcasing this eyeshadow quad, as well as Bronze Ember, another one. That's one of the cream to powder formulas. Fantastic. It's just phenomenal. Now, technically, did I? Well, according to this, I did purchase the Soleil collection on March 31st, but cutting it a little close. I think I'm going to save the Soleil for April favorites, but just a sneak peek. Soleil collection from Tom Ford. We could talk about the products individually, and I have an entire video reviewing the collection. I have my hits and misses, but without a doubt, the packaging for the entire collection is phenomenal. Now, some might argue, Alicia, the Dior is insane. The Dior goes crazy, right? But this is really the only standout packaging moment in the Dior collection where the highlighters, the bronzers, even the blushes, the lip tint. So this is a lip tint from the Tom Ford Soleil collection. Where's the blush? Where's the blush? Here's by Coastal, right? So in terms of the aesthetic, I don't know, Tom Ford might have to win packaging for best luxury beauty collection for the summertime. I have the Chanel stuff. The only thing about the Chanel is the picnic basket, like as I like to call it, the mini picnic basket, but the compacts are the Le Beige compacts, so there's nothing special packaging wise. But Tom Ford, I don't know, I might have to give it to the Tom Ford for best summer packaging in the luxury beauty space. And Gucci did also release their lip tints here. Let me grab it, where'd it go? I have 4 of them, I know. I'm out of control. Now, speaking about packaging, too modest for Gucci. Muji is allowed to be modest with their pouch designs, okay? But not Gucci. We've just seen too many beautiful pieces from Gucci to be given this for their water and oil lip tint. But nevertheless, I still have to give it to Gucci for developing just some of the most beautiful lip colors from the entire industry space for luxury beauty. This is, I believe, Elsa Hazel 130. And lip tint's no joke. As you could see, they're still lingering. And my gosh, I think those were from maybe yesterday? Yes. This perhaps is my go-to shade out of the 4 that I have. Yes, you heard that correctly. I have Elsa Hazel, Emma Rose Dust, Valeria Rose, and Lucy Dark Orange. Lucy Dark Orange is gonna be a problem over the summertime. Like, just out of control color. My gosh. Do I have it here? Yes, I do. Ooh, Lucy Dark Orange. Here, I'm gonna put it right at the edge here. This is your deep blood orange tint of life. I have a short, so you'll see Lucy Dark Orange in action. Let me know if you want to see a full form video with this setup with the lip tint. It might take me a while to film, but I could always put it on the queue. And it is a tint, so there is a stain left on the lip, but the formula is ultra slippy and soft silky on the application. And I love the doe foot applicator because it's on the smaller side with the slant on the tip, so it allows for fantastic maneuvering, makes it easy to apply. There is a little bit of a taste with Gucci. It tastes like their lip products if you haven't done so before. They're more on like the soft, flowery, almost fruity side of the spectrum. More tolerable than most. And I handle it because I love the color, I love the feel. The shine does wear quickly, but more like a luminous finish is left behind for like maybe 2 to 3 hours. And after that, I generally reapply, as I don't mind doing so. But if you don't reapply and just let it wear off completely, you are left with a stain on your lip, which might be a good thing because your lips won't be bare. They might feel a little dry, but not bone dry. You would just reapply it, or you would follow up with maybe the Prada Glossy Lip Balm, or maybe the Hung Van Gogh Lip Hue, right? So we got a lot of options here at our disposal. That's what I have, and look at this huge sponge from Rephr. So when you vote on which display you think it'll be best to have in the store, you are gifted a sponge set, 1 of 3. But this is the largest one. And I said I don't like sponges because they're a pain to clean, but I do use them for at-home application, because I could wash this right away. If on the go, like if at bays, or knowing I'm not going to be there forever, I'll use a brush to apply my foundation. But I understand how goated sponges are for foundation application, because the water that naturally gets applied with the foundation just allows for the best skin-like finish ever. I get it, but this ain't going in the bag, okay? As I explained before, this is where you get into trouble. When you don't clean your sponges right away, you pack them while they're still damp, you don't air dry them properly, they just stay in your bag like this. Like, I've seen dirty sponges in makeup bags like this, and I'm like, what are you doing? I think that's it for favorites. I hope I didn't miss anything. It's been a wild month. I felt like I purchased so much makeup, and April equally so, where it was one launch after the other for summer. First it was Dior with the Jonathan Anderson inspo. Then it was Tom Ford Soleil. Now it's the Chanel. It's like I can't get a break. Oh my gosh. I hope I could get a little bit of a breather because I kind of just want to enjoy everything that I purchased. I know I purchased mainly for reviewing, but I also make sure to buy makeup that I know I'm going to love and use. And yeah, kind of just want to sit with it a little bit, but I understand that that's how the industry is, right? It's just going to keep churning out until we can't breathe, and it'll just still turn out, and then we're like, well, just figure it out. But all that to say, I've been truly happy with my March purchases, and yeah, can't wait until my Sephora haul arrives. I think I ordered maybe like 10 blushes. I'm not even kidding, it's embarrassing. Alongside some lip products, of course, but there were so many blush recommendations or just blush products in general that released recently that I had to get my hands on and try. But I also know as we approach the summertime, historically, rare that I would wear eyeshadow on hot summer days. But that might change this year because, again, with the Nude Hours palette from YSL, with the Color Mascara, not officially included in the March favorites, but the newly released Dior Flash Sticks for their summer release, I gushed over these. This by far I know will be in my mid-year favorites video. 100%. This is an impeccable formula and developed to be long wear, waterproof, long lasting, what have you. So I have a feeling I might be applying these over the summertime for sure. Quick throw on, quick finger tap, maybe whether it be the Diorshow mascara or the Pradascope one, who knows? With the brown and plum shades, I might be more inclined to wear eye makeup over the summer season because of like that softer look overall. We'll see. But let me know what your favorites have been for the month of March, both lifestyle and beauty. I would love to know down below. And of course, if you made it this far, make sure you like this video by clicking that thumbs up. It helps me immensely in letting the YouTube algorithm know that I'm worth watching and now continue to watch. It is going to now recommend my video to other stupid cube enthusiasts such as yourself, and consider subscribing because more content is on the way and you'll know when those videos drop immediately, especially when you click that notification bell. Friends, if you've been watching from the beginning and you're still here, I appreciate the support, but if it's your first time here, please stay, peruse some more. Maybe I'll see you in this video here. I'll definitely see you down in the comments for this one, and on here again next time.